Okay, so I work 13, 14 hours a day in my SMMA, and I made a video about it, and a lot of people were asking me why, so here's why. Now, if you can understand the first 2 points of this video, it's gonna make a whole lot more sense to you when I come out with the third point, so just keep that in mind, but we'll get started. So the first reason why I work so many hours per day and per week in my SMMA is because nobody wants to do it. The easiest edge that you can find in business, really in any aspect of your business, is doing the things that other people don't want to. Maybe that's calling your leads an excessive amount. Maybe that's not hiring somebody when you really want to, but maybe you shouldn't because you're not good enough at doing the thing that you're gonna hire the person to do. Maybe it's simply putting in more hours to get ahead and to innovate and come up with new ideas. Now, I'll give you a perfect example, kind of like a little story to drive this point home for you. So a few years ago when I started my social media marketing agency, I'm working with realtors, and one of the biggest problems that they face is poor lead quality. They get Facebook leads, they get Google leads, and the conversion rates are really bad, and they're complaining about calling people, and whatever it is, the leads aren't good, right? So what everybody else decided to do is, we'll just get an ISA and put the ISA in place, inside sales agent, to call the leads, qualify the leads, this type of thing. But then what happens is the journey of the lead becomes all completely screwed up and backwards, because the lead has no idea that they're even signing up to talk to anybody in the first place. Then some random ISA, oftentimes overseas with a different dialect or accent, will reach out and call them to set up a call with another person who they don't know and didn't expect a call from. So it just becomes this completely confusing and backwards process. And so I spotted this problem and noticed it because I used to be an ISA. I used to call these leads, and I found that this was true. Now, the key takeaway here is that I was even an ISA in the first place, right? You have to put yourself in that person's shoes to understand what their problems are, to be able to communicate more effectively in the marketplace to them, and also create a solution to their specific problem. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't even have known this problem existed. And a lot of agency owners end up blaming their clients and saying, oh, these people have no idea what they're doing, this, that, the other, and just blaming the clients for not getting results. And while that may or may not be true, what's important to note is that maybe you'd call your leads and go, these actually kinda suck. Another thing I did from there was went above and beyond to solve this whole problem and increase conversion rates. And I did this without help from anybody. It took me a few years, which maybe that was dumb, maybe that was smart, I don't know. But now I have a fully unique solution that nobody else is offering in the marketplace. So now whenever people hop on a call with me, the question of how are you different is extremely easy to answer, and it's extremely easy to show and visualize to people, especially given that now I have proof that clients are converting 1 in 25 leads, which is monstrously different than the industry standard of 1 in 100 or 1 in 150. Now, the second reason that I work 13 to 14 hours a day in my SMMA is because with the stage I'm at in my business, the people I'm competing against, they're starting to work more and more and more hours. Beginners tend to not work as many hours. And so when you start to advance your business and get deeper and deeper into it, the people you're competing against go harder and harder. So you need to keep up with that at a bare minimum in order to continue growing at the rate you want to, right? So if you think about it, let's pretend I'm in a pool of 10 other SMMA owners who are targeting realtors. The question is, do I want to hold myself back voluntarily by not working these hours and letting the other people get ahead? No, I don't. Now, sure, there comes the conversation of, building leverage, have somebody else do this for you, have somebody do that for you. Yes, while that is true, I'm not as good at sales as I could be. So I want to sit down and take all of my calls and become really, really good at sales, because when that happens, and only when that happens, can I hire somebody and actually teach them how to do a really good job in sales, therefore providing a higher income opportunity for somebody to work for me, and therefore attracting better talent. So it goes so many layers deeper than just, you're working a lot of hours, why? And now let's pretend I outsource sales and I get all that time back. I would still continue to work these hours, and it's completely within my plans to do so. Maybe take some more breaks, spend some more time with friends, whatever it is. But I want to keep getting ahead because nobody else wants to. And if you're doing the things, again, that nobody else wants to do, that can set you apart. Now, knowing these two things, the third reason why I work so many hours in my agency is because my goals require some pretty hardcore work. And if you want to achieve a goal faster, the only way you can really do it when it comes to skill building is by doing more in less time. And so to kind of break that down for you and explain what that means, I'll give you an example here. So let's take sales calls as a simple example. A sales call takes you, call it an hour, just for a round number. In any different skill in your business, sales, product, customer support, marketing, whatever it is, there are a set number of hours that you have worked in each category. And once you reach a certain number of hours, your skill level is directly correlated with the amount of hours you've worked. And so if I've only taken a few hundred sales calls to date, and I want to be at a point where I'm really, really, really good at sales and converting at a really high rate, which increases revenue on its own, then I need to do as many sales calls as possible. And if I want to hit a certain goal faster, then what you need to do is do as many sales calls as possible in the time that you have. So maybe that means working longer hours, maybe that means working weekends. So if you're trying to accomplish big numbers quickly, then working more is one of the easiest ways that you can get there faster. And to give you an example, when I wasn't so good at copywriting and writing ads and this kind of thing, what I would do is write a new ad every single day. And what happens is with time, you start to get better and better and better at writing ads, but you need to still write X number of ads. Let's pretend you need to write 500 ads to become, up to a certain skill level or rank, if you'll call it that, in copywriting or creating ads. You can write one ad a week for about 10 years. You can write one ad a day for about a year and a half, or you can write 2 ads a day for about 250 days, 3 ads a day. You get the idea. And so if you want to scale a business to like $200,000 a month, it's not just, let's, work 8 hours a day, and there's more to it than that. Especially if you want to do it quickly. If you're patient and you don't really care about the speed at which you're growing, then sure, by all means, you can work less hours, that's fine. But for the speed I'm trying to grow at, I need to compress the workload and do more in the same amount of time, which is why I spend so many hours on my agency.